I would like to explain to you, and also as food for thought, the concept of eco-humanism. And eco-humanism is my attempt to create a rational worldview on a life stance, maybe also a lifestyle, but primarily a life stance, which is based on both ethics and science. So what we are going to do is I'm going to build a worldview based on different modules. All these blocks, these Lego blocks, are separate modules which together will be eco-humanism. And I will explain that in a moment. So it's interesting, and I hope it's also exciting, that what this whole rational big worldview is based only on two very simple axioms. An axiom means beginning point. And it also means that if you do not accept the axioms, you cannot even begin to build. So it's very important that you begin and understand the axioms. Okay, and if you don't agree with them, okay, then you can think, okay, if I would understand them, then the rest will follow. There's two axioms. The first is the rationality axiom. That means that if someone makes a claim, then that person has to give good arguments for that claim. And that sounds very simple. It is very simple, but it will have profound conclusions. So that's a rationality axiom. The second axiom, the moral axiom, it starts with an idea about ethics, and that is that unnecessary suffering is bad. And again, if you think, well, I don't care about suffering at all, that's fine, but then you cannot go up to build eco-humanism. So, two axioms, rationality axioms and the moral axioms. Now, from these two, you can start to build with building blocks. And, well, let's start with the first building block. So, here, yeah, so these are Lego blocks, right? So, the first building block which come from that is if you would apply these two axioms in a structural way, doing that, applying this in your daily life, and also then that is called free thinking. And that's interesting. Of course, we all think we are free thinkers, but free thinking is the consistent. Free thinking is hard work. That is always thinking, always applying the rationality axiom, always applying the moral axiom. So there it starts. Then, well, and I go very fast. The first one which comes up, applying especially the rationality axiom, is skepticism. And with skepticism, I mean skepticism towards transcendental and paranormal claims. So that is, if you apply the rationality axioms, you probably won't believe in fairy tales, mythologies, or alternative medicine. So, but that is hard work. That's not something that comes up easily. Then, one specific category of claims for the existence of transcendental beings are institutionalized claims, and these are religious claims, and to be skeptical of that is atheism. Again, I go very fast. So, the next one, humanism, is much more. So this is called eco-humanism. Humanism is much more. Humanism is a positive claim about human beings, that it is the central value is individual human being. So it's about individual human beings, and the worldview which comes with it is the scientific worldview, and that is based on, well, you can say, put it all together, and that is big history. I will make a knowledge clip about big history as well. So we build up all the things. Again, then emancipation. especially emancipation of women, emancipation of the LGBTQ community. It's all part of the, and that has to do with the unnecessary suffering is bad. We should not have other beings unnecessary suffer. And the political philosophy which comes with that is called liberalism, classical liberalism, which means that that's the no harm principle, no harm, and then you can see the same, unnecessary suffering is bad, we should do no harm. But here, actually till here, this is basically classical humanism. But this is eco-humanism. So the difference is, and here it comes, is that we expand the moral circle from humans only to include all beings capable of suffering. So we move towards what is called sentientism. So from humans only to all beings that can suffer. And if we then apply this, unnecessary suffering is bad, to all sentient beings, then, and this is really might be a shock, then automatically this veganism comes in, and that's maybe strange. That's something that is in classical humanism that is totally out of focus. So, but in eco-humanism, it is it's a logical part of it. We could go on a little. Well, that is also sustainability. Let's call it sustainable development, and it has to do that we should also take into account the possible suffering of future generations. Because if we do not take future generations into account, we would discriminate against future generations, then that would be presentism. Presentism is discrimination against future generations. So here, and again this is very fast, we have a logical edifice with many different things which are completely different. Atheism and veganism are very different, but they follow logically from these two simple axioms. And that is something wonderful, but also might be a shock, like, okay, I agree with these axioms, but I don't want any of these or some of these. And that is the challenge of thinking for yourself to how do you relate to all these outcomes and on these two moral axioms. So that is humanism and eco-humanism, and that is what you can do if you combine science, the scientific view of the world, and a set of normative values. And then maybe we can have something so beautiful as eco-humanism.